Hello, my friends, and welcome to a brand new episode of Discourse in Magic. My name is Jonah Babbins, and this is another Magician Appetizer. That is a bite-sized piece of food for thought to help you on your magic journey. And today we are talking about new tricks, specifically workshopping a new trick. Like if you're trying to get a new trick better, if you're performing on open mic nights, you're putting it in your show or whatever, trying to test material in your stand-up show, in your stage show, how do you make it better? How do you make it work? And more importantly, how do you make it so that you try a trick out and over time it gets better and better and makes its way into your act instead of you kind of losing confidence in it, losing hope in it, and then it ends up in your closet and your act stays the exact same size. So we're going to talk about how to do it, but specifically, we're going to talk about the 3 biggest mistakes that magicians are making or that you might even be making in trying out new material. And we're talking about this for 2 reasons. Number 1, I have been working on a new trick for the past couple months and it's been fun. So all of this stuff is fresh. And number 2, our show, The Newest Trick in the Book, which ran for 4 straight years, Canada's only open mic magic show, is back in Toronto. So if you're going to be in Toronto, it's once a month. It's awesome. It's packed. It's free. It's epic. You should be here. But also, because this newest trick, new magic thing is in the air, I want to give you 3 tips or 3 rather mistakes that you should be avoiding if you are going to be trying new material in hopes to get it in your act. Here we go. Tip number 1 is not memorizing a script. Look, there are many ways that you can write a script, and I've talked about this and spoken about this on the podcast at length. You can write it with a pen and paper. You can type it on your computer. You can go out and try a trick and then write it down. You can record audio. Who knows what you're doing? But really what you need to do at the end of the day is if you want your trick to get better, you need to have something memorized. There is a certain type of magic that happens, not when you write a script. When you write a script, it doesn't feel like you yet. You haven't internalized it yet. But when you've memorized a script and you're out on stage and you're saying a memorized script, there's a different level of confidence and rhythm to what you do because you are figuring out the pacing and the timing of what you're saying. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to figure out the most effective ways to do our magic. So mistake number 1 that magicians make is not the mistake of not having a script. Many people sit and write a script, but they don't memorize it. And you need to know your script backwards and forwards. That is what's going to give you confidence on stage. And that's what's going to give you something to edit when things are not working the way you want it to. So mistake number 1 that magicians make is not memorizing a script. Mistake number 2 the magicians make in testing new material is not padding your tricks. Before you go out there and you perform, you need to do something on that stage to build rapport with the audience and more importantly, build your rhythm with the audience. Don't just go out there and then try something brand new for the very first time. It's going to feel kind of strange. So if you have jokes or tricks or lines or sentences or things that you say that you've said before that you are confident in, then try to put a little bit of that or try to put that trick or those jokes or whatever before you do this new trick. I have to tell you, it makes a huge difference not to just run on stage and try something that you've never tried before. The rhythm is going to be very weird and you want to learn what the rhythm is. It's part of what I was talking about before with the script. You want to learn what the rhythm is with you talking back and forth with the audience. And the first time that you write a script, the first time you memorize it, you're not going to know that rhythm. So put something earlier in the trick so that you can establish a little bit of your rhythm and build a little bit of that momentum with the audience and then do the new trick. And it's going to help it be a lot smoother in your act. And it's going to make it feel a lot less new when you're performing it for an audience because you will have already built some rhythm with them. So tip number 2, or rather mistake number 2 that you might be making if you are trying new material is not padding the new material. Now, if you've never done material ever on stage, then you have nothing to pad. So go out there and try something new. But if you have done a little bit of stuff, if you have a trick or a joke or some lines or a sentence or whatever, a couple sentences that you are used to saying, that you know the beats of, that you know the rhythm of, maybe there's a laugh in it, then start with that when you step out on the stage. So tip number 2 is to pad your new material. And tip number 3, this is the biggest mistake that I see for magicians who are testing new material, is not filming their set. Friends, if you're trying to get better, then you need to be able to watch your magic critically. And it has never been easier ever than to just pop your phone on a $9 tripod and record the set. When I'm out at shows, either when we're putting on the newest trick or when I'm out at other people's shows and I see magicians not recording their sets, it doesn't make sense to me. When you see stand-up comedians out at open mic shows, they are recording their sets. They want to watch it back. They want to get the rhythm right. They want to get the timing right. They want to get the looks right. They want to get the moments right. You should be exactly the same. You need to be recording your sets and recording your performances. There's nothing else to say about that. The only thing else to say is you then have to watch them. That is it. Record them and watch them. You will be baffled by how much better you will get if you just commit to recording your sets and watching it afterwards. Revisit that script, memorize any changes that you make. You'll make just minor changes, by the time you've done it 5, 6, 7, 8 times, maybe you'll be making minor changes at that point. But film the set. It is the only way to get better. It is the only way to document it, because when we get off stage, we think that we remember how everything went, but when we're on stage, our adrenaline is pumping. We're in a crazy environment. We don't really accurately remember the situation. We think we do, but we don't really accurately remember the situation. But the camera never lies. So record your sets. That is the way to get better at your material and hopefully get a new trick that you're trying into your set and into your repertoire. There you go. I hope you learned something from this, from 3 mistakes not to make. Number 1, not memorizing your script. Number 2, not padding your trick. And number 3, not filming your set. 3 easy things you can do to make sure the tricks that you try turn out awesome. There you go. Hope you liked the episode. Hope, of course, that you learned something. If you're anywhere near Toronto, come see the newest trick in the book. It is free. There's 8 magicians on the lineup. It's going to be epic. Or message me and you maybe even be able to get on the lineup and perform at the newest trick in the book. That would be really cool. That's number 1. Number 2, if you like this, if you learned something, share it with your friend. If you're performing on a set with a friend, send this to him. Maybe that will help him or her perform on the next show. And number 3, thank you so much for being here. It means the world, and I'll see you next Thursday. Peace.